Hi everyone, it's good to have you with us on KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Jane McCarthy. Tom Sherry is off today. Well, things heating up around the inland northwest, and with the heat comes fire danger too. A red flag warning is in effect for much of central Washington today. Michelle Boss is in the Weather Center tracking dry conditions across the region right now. Michelle?
Yeah, it's dry, it's windy, and it's hot. Definitely three ingredients coming together that you don't really want to see, especially this time of year with the increased fire danger. Relative humidity right now only in the teens from Omak to Moses Lake. Does a little bit better as you get a little bit farther east from Spokane into Coeur d'Alene, but still relatively dry conditions all across the inland northwest. And it's been kind of windy out there as well. Currently Moses Lake not reporting a wind gust, but they have seen gusts just in the past couple of hours between 20 and 30 miles per hour. Still seeing some breezy conditions in Deer Park, Coeur d'Alene, and Sandpoint. Wind gust between 15 and 25 miles per hour. And I don't have to tell you this, but it is hot outside. At 4 o'clock, Spokane Airport checking in at 89 degrees, but seeing plenty of 90s out there. Deer Park at the top of the hour, 90 degrees, 98 in Moses Lake. That's even 6 degrees warmer than they were yesterday in the lower 90s, 95 in Omak, and in the lower 90s from Pomeroy to Lewiston. That red flag warning is in effect for those areas shaded in pink and will continue through this evening. After sunset, we do expect the relative humidity to come up a little bit, and so that red flag warning will expire. As far as any wet weather, well, most of the inland northwest is hot, dry, and sunny, but we do have a few isolated showers right along the Canadian border and then down towards the Washington and Oregon Blues. Those are pushing off to the east, so Grangeville will likely be affected and is being affected right now with some thunderstorm activity and some rainy weather as well. And you can see quite a bit of lightning there. Of course, that's going to be pushing to the east, so not moving up into the Spokane or Coeur d'Alene area. The next 12 hours look like this continued hot through the evening. Temperatures in the middle and upper 80s through sunset, and then falling into the 70s and 60s under mostly clear skies tonight. We will see some relief from the heat tomorrow. Lower 80s for highs. That's still about 10 degrees above average. And you can see the weekend is still looking hot with highs in the middle and even returning to the upper 80s by Sunday.
Michelle, thank you very much. Meantime, President Donald Trump approved a disaster declaration for 5 Idaho counties pounded by rain and flooding earlier this year. Back in April, heavy rainfall caused significant flooding in 5 counties, including Latah and Idaho counties. The high water washed out roads, triggered landslides, and damaged homes throughout the region. It's estimated those 5 counties suffered millions of dollars in damage. The disaster declaration will free up additional federal funding to help cover the cost of repairs. It will also help state and local agencies help people who are impacted by the damage. And investigators want a do-over in the Flint water scandal. Today, the Michigan Attorney General's office dismissed all criminal charges against 8 people in the Flint water case. Prosecutors say this decision will give them a chance to do an extended investigation in what they're calling the right way this time. The 8 people include former Michigan Health Director Nick Lyon. Now, he was accused of failing to inform the public about the improperly treated water. Lyon could be charged again in the new investigation. His lawyer maintains he didn't do anything wrong. People living in Flint say the dismissal is a slap in the face to everyone impacted by the disaster.
Doing this memorial is a form of therapy for me. It's a form of healing. And it's a way that I can ensure that the legacies of our lost loved ones will live on forever, and it will tell a story.
Families of victims of the Oso landslide are trying to raise money now for a permanent memorial. The slide, which killed 43 people, broke loose in March of 2014. Now, there's a makeshift memorial at the site right now, but family members want a lasting memorial to honor the victims, as well as the 12 survivors and first responders, too. The group behind the effort is hosting a fundraising gala next weekend in Seattle. Donations are also accepted on the group's website, slidememorial.com. The families hope to start that memorial project next year. Well, people from around the region flock to Sandpoint for its views and quaint downtown. But business owners are a bit worried after a recent fire that will drive tourists away. It's been 4 months since that massive fire burned 3 different buildings downtown. 2 of the structures are a total loss. Now it's just an empty pit there. And it's not clear when the city plans to rebuild, but a spokesperson estimates about $7 million in damage. Taylor Vito spoke with locals in the area who say they have not heard any updates from the city, so we'll have a full report in our 5 o'clock newscast tonight. The Spokane Valley Fire Department is teaming up with a local Starbucks to thank Good Samaritans. If crews see you helping someone, well, they may say thank you with a Starbucks gift card. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley has more on this Good Samaritan reward program.
From the fire department's perspective, it can't always be us. It's neighbors helping neighbors.
Fire Marshal Greg Rogers knows the first people to help someone in a time of need are neighbors or Good Samaritans, and he wanted to come up with a way to thank them.
A lot of people that might stop, help us direct traffic, or we may get on scene and somebody may be helping one of the adults or somebody that fell.
So, what better way to say thank you than with a cup of coffee? Through the Good Samaritan Reward Program, Starbucks on Pines and Sprague is providing each Spokane Valley fire crew with $4 gift cards. Crews will give those gift cards to Good Samaritans to say thanks.
A lot of times we don't get to know these people's names or who they are, so it created an opportunity for us to be able to give them a gift.
Rogers says he got the idea from seeing his neighbor doing a good deed to help out the fire department.
Every winter he digs out this fire hydrant, and that's kind of how the program and the idea got started. As I thought, it'd be kind of cool if I could stop one day and just knock on his door and give him a card and say, hey, go have a cup of coffee on us.
As simple it is to load a couple cards so that they can go out and give them to Good Samaritans is so easy, can make such a big difference in our community.
To be clear, the program is not meant to encourage private citizens to run inside burning buildings. It's meant to be a way for the department to thank community members for medical or smaller incidents.
We're hoping to increase the program. We're trying to spread it, spread the word as far and wide as we can get.
Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
In other news, a female Navy captain made history in Washington this week. Captain Diana Wolfson became the first woman to take command of the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard. Up until now, the 128-year-old facility was led exclusively by men.
There are so many women, right, that I am, as I said, following in their footsteps. Women were first allowed combatants about the time frame that I am maturing in my career. So it's only logical that I should be here, and it's those women that have paved the way for me.
Well, this month, Captain Wolfson will take command of more than 14,000 civilians and military personnel. Congrats to her. Well, you may remember the 2016 film Hidden Figures. It's about 3 African-American mathematicians who helped get man to the moon. Now, for decades, the women received little recognition for their hard work and significant contributions. Well, now NASA is taking steps to change that. The agency renamed a block in front of its headquarters Hidden Figures Way.
Most of all, Hidden Figures is about taking off our blinders and recognizing the contributions of the unseen individuals.
Well, the families of the 3 women were at the unveiling ceremony, and they say the street name is a great reminder for everyone, really, to notice and appreciate the hard work of others. Well, cancer took his son's eyesight. Now, a father in Maine is making sure his son sees the world in a whole new way. Each week, the 2 visit somewhere new. Zach Blanchard with our Portland sister station tagged along as the 2 traveled west.
Listen, it's quiet. But for 3-year-old Nolan Desmond, this place is beautifully loud.
I'm going to the water.
He and his dad, Matt, are on one of their weekly adventures.
It ended up kind of being a tradition.
On this day, it's Cascade Falls in Saco.
Like Mondays, we'd always do like Monday adventures.
Matt captures every one of them in pictures. He says it's the chance for his son to see the world.
Yeah, you love waterfalls, don't you?
Except little Nolan can't see at all.
He's been blind for over half his life.
He had retinoblastoma, a very rare cancer of the eyes, diagnosed as just a baby. After rounds and rounds of chemo and radiation, it eventually took his sight. But his dad refused to say, I can't.
Only way that I deal with it is that I have to. I mean, something gets thrown at you and you don't have another option.
These trips outdoors is where Nolan feels most alive, with the rush of the water, the feeling of a puddle, and every carefully guided step.
We got another little step coming up.
For Matt, it is moments like this that prove love does not always have to be seen. Sometimes
I love you.
it's blind. In Saco, Zach Blanchard.
Maybe the best story of the day, huh? All right, this one's good too. A falling tree took some of his freedom, but now an Idaho man is getting a bit of that freedom back with the help of a new chair. You may remember Jordan Simon. Back in 2016, Simon was just driving near Twin Lakes when a windstorm blew a massive tree right onto his car. His injuries left him unable to walk. Well, now the good stuff. Thanks to generous donations from people in the community, Simon and others around the inland Northwest are getting new wheelchairs, and they're special. They're called track chairs, and they're designed for all terrain. That includes mud and water, and that makes the outdoors more accessible.
Getting your freedom back, it's just mentally it helps everybody out. Getting to be back out and do what you want. When you're a sportsman and you're stuck on the asphalt, it's not very much fun.
Well, this year the Northwest Sportsman Club is actually giving away 3 all-terrain chairs. We do have a link for more information on KREM.com.